Hey guys, what's going on? Andy Elliott. Guys, today this is we'll call it podcast. I'm going to call it training, the coaching. Man, I would say that I've been waiting for my whole life, and it's how to pay less money in taxes. Everybody in the world wants to know how to pay less money in taxes. It's not always about what you make, it's about how much you keep.
There you go.
Am I right?
Got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I remember when I got my first check, I was like, yeah, I made a lot of money. And it's like, oh, shoot. You know, where did it all go?
Government
and
took it.
yeah, so guys, I'm
Confiscation.
here with some really good buddies of mine who are extremely educated. They're very smart, and it's just a really powerful resource that I have, and like I'm going to share them with you. Okay. And by the way, I'm about to shut up in a minute because these are the educators. I'm going to hand this over to them, and they're going to spit fire. Okay. And literally, I'd recommend a couple things. Number one, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. Okay, because they're going to give you some stuff that's going to change your life. Number two, you guys can use them, okay, as a resource. I love it. Anybody that saved me a lot of money, anybody that changes my life, I'm going to hand them over to you guys now. And I know that a lot of you like to make a lot of money. You want to keep more money. So they're going to do a couple things. Number one, you can hit them up on social media and you can DM them. Okay, you can ask them any question. Number two, you can call them. They said, hey, man, we'll give you our number. It's totally cool. You can call us. Number three, you can shoot them an email. I really don't care, but I'm going to give you 3 different ways to contact them. And I'm going to turn it over to you guys. By the way, you guys are like brothers. You guys are, family. I love their core values. Just forget about, saving money and taxes and making a lot of money in life. Your shirt says stand for something.
Right here.
Yeah. These guys' values are awesome. So not only can they help you like from an economical standpoint and from a business standpoint, which is we all love, but they're also great people, which I feel like it's hard to find those two together. So which one of you want to start the fire?
Want to start with how we met?
Let's start with how we met.
Let's go. Baby.
Well, I guess first let's set the right preface here. We are not tax attorneys, accountants in any way giving any type of tax advice. That goes without saying. However, we are brought in by those communities and many other advisors, RIAs, family offices, other advanced planning firms to solve unique, advanced, large tax-driven issues for the high net worth, ultra high net worth, and your like self-employed or owner-operator spaces. That's, those are the only realms we play in.
Disclaimer right out the
Yeah,
gate.
right out
You
the
have
gate.
to.
Let's roll.
All right, now let's rock. So, Don't Tax Me Bro was bred I guess at inception was bred when Kuldeep and I met.
He cold called me. Let's be clear. Joe cold called me, and that's how we met. He took me to what I call the world's longest lunch, about a 9-hour lunch.
Was right inception of COVID. So Kuldeep the prior year put out some numbers with a company that we work with that were pretty wild. And I was like, shit, this guy's kind of around my age. He's local. I see a lot of old faces on this list, like old, not ones I knew particularly. But this guy looks cool. Let me call him. So Cole called him. It's like, you're 40 minutes away. Let's grab lunch. And it was a 9-hour extravaganza
That's rare.
Yeah,
in Manhattan.
So we're about 3/4 of the way through this, and I'm like, my mom just called. I got family dinner night. I need to get home soon. He goes, let's go. So he comes over to my house. He meets my mom, my grandma, my parents, my dog. He walks my dog. My wife's like, who the hell is this guy? Why is he in our house?
Yeah.
Because he's that big. It was bizarre.
COVID, like it was all remote work, and pretty much I ate and trained. That was it.
Yeah.
So, there was a point where his neighbors getting, texts and calls, blowing him up of like, there's this giant man walking your wife and your dog. Do we need to confront him? It's going to take a few of us. But we knew that like right then that our worlds overlapped. And then the next morning kind of reconvened of like, all right, families have met. Did we just become best friends? It's like a stepbrothers moment.
You guys are like brothers.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Present day, Andy. Our firms are very close. Proximity, we're very close. Our staff overlaps a lot, not like employment, but collaborates together. Yeah. And we serve the same communities. We're clients of one another. Mm-hmm. We serve the same communities. We just kind of come at it from 2 different unique tax problems.
Okay.
So on my end, it's more income driven. So think like if you're self-employed or an owner-operator out there, and you are tired of getting absolutely crushed in annual Fed, state, and city income exposure. That's when we're brought in by unique advisors and by generalists. Kuldeep, why don't you give the PC to specialist medical example.
I mean,
as far as
there's
the best way to deliver this.
Think about it. You get a heart issue, you have a brain issue, you've got tumor in your head. Your doctor figures out there's something wrong with you. He can't cut it out. He needs to go get a brain surgeon to do it. Joe does brain surgery. I do open heart surgery. They're completely different worlds. We collaborate with all kinds of financial advisors, money managers, CPAs, tax attorneys, trust and estate attorneys. We're brought in to solve the issue because that's not their expertise. Does that make sense?
Who is your ideal client right now? If somebody's watching you.
So I can give you an absolute minimum standard, but then it kind of goes up, and then I'd tell you the ceilings about my best client. My biggest clients are worth about $3 billion. Very low end, 20 million is probably the 10, 20 million, somewhere in that range, growing, rising, young, hungry, people that are making $1 million a year. They've got a couple
Business
million
owners.
liquid. Business owners are key.
Yeah.
I don't have to be only business owners, but they typically are.
Yeah.
So a
There's a
business
drive.
owner watching this, running $1 mil, $2 mil, $5 mil, something like that.
Yeah.
More.
The 20 million you talked about, but the people that are really can create those big savings,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
It's where you have the most impact, right? You make $1 million a year. What's the fastest way to a 30% pay raise?
Yeah.
Cut down your tax bill.
Yep.
That's right.
That's the most important thing you could do. You don't have to do any extra work. You just got to figure out how to pay less in taxes by stacking efficient strategies.
Can I say one thing? Because I don't want to get in the middle of this, but most people that make good money, they think that what they're doing, the person they have,
Yep.
is saving them a lot of money, and they don't know what they don't know, right?
That's it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Because I see this all the time. You're one person away. Like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I already got a guy.
Yep.
What would you say to people that say I already got a guy?
How much did you pay in taxes last year?
Yeah. Also,
Okay.
their guy,
Exactly.
that's all well and good. I'm sure you have a few guys or a few gals, but the reality is that, and this comes with even more net worth or more income exposed annually. The ones that you think would have all the boxes checked, they don't.
Yep.
They have.
You got to shop that stuff. Am I right? Like over time, it's like car insurance. It's like, oh yeah, I've been using State Farm for 10 years.
Yep.
And then you have no idea what else is going on in the market. Who
You
else
might
is
have
saving.
started with a great attorney or great, CPA, but you've outgrown them, and that's normal.
Yep.
But if you're still paying 40, 35, 50% in taxes, what are they doing for you?
Nothing.
There
I
you
mean,
go. And that's the only thing I have to say when somebody says I'm all set.
Yeah.
Well, I pay less in taxes and I probably make more than you. Why don't we unpack what you're doing now?
Yep.
And let me show you a couple of strategies you can do that'll, revolutionize your life.
That's huge.
Put an extra 30% in your pocket, make a difference.
I got a guy, I got a gal. We deal with that daily.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, I was
So
going to say, because that's what I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, because I'm good, right? Like I have that guy.
Yeah.
And they have no idea what they're missing. We had the same deal, and we saved a lot of money. And there's probably even someone better, but even just journeying into exploring the idea, we realized that we weren't being very well taken care of.
let's
no idea.
let's unpack that a little. Like if that were you, and we didn't know you from Adam, right? And that were you, and you're like, listen, guys, I got a guy. I got the best accountant. I got the best attorney. My direct response, likely his direct response, depending on if we're entering from his conversation, like his world, or my world. His is more net worth driven. Mine's more income driven. But depending on which angle we're coming in at, the response is probably going to be good. We hope you keep those. We're not here to step on their toes.
Love
You
that.
can keep that guy. You can keep that gal, whoever it is. In fact, we want to talk to them first because what we're here to talk about is above their pay grade. It's above what their skill set is because these are like both micro niche environments that really there's just a vacuum of lack of education in.
Yeah, and the only person who saves is them.
Yeah, we're tools in your advisor's
Yeah,
belts.
that's
That's
right.
great. Let's make a
I
big
love
round
that.
table.
So nobody's getting replaced at
Nope.
any point. You're just working with.
Yeah.
Yep.
We show them new tricks that
Yeah.
they didn't know about.
Yeah.
It's another tool in their belt that makes them look
Which
good.
you'd
It
be
makes
a
us look
fool
good.
not to
There you
jump
go.
right into that.
So that it's funny you cracked that
love
door. So another thing, at initial engagement is we'll tell, okay, here are the problems that we can solve, right? We solve big tax problems. There are certain drivers. Okay, first off, problems, like we both been this believer in the same mantra here, and a few other advisors that we're close with kind of carry the exact same initial delivery, which is source or find a big problem. Big problems, tax-driven problems, are not solved by investments or insurance or real estate or alternatives or any asset. They're solved by strategies and structures, and they're likely and usually advanced in nature. Those strategies and structures are what's going to house those assets. Okay, but it starts with identify the big problem. So all of those advisors whether advanced or like just traditional accounting or legal, we're tools in their belts. We don't want to step on their world. We want to complement it.
It's huge.
Yeah, we want them
people are
just to
gonna love
know.
because a lot of people are they're emotionally attached to
Correct.
someone because they built that relationship, right? But if that relationship's important, number one, that relationship is there to save you the money that you want to save, and you also like dealing with them. So you guys come in and you superpower that relationship.
That's exactly the point.
So let's we're all believers in this. I'm forgive me for assuming, but I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and say you're a believer in this. Okay, like let's deliver an offer that they'd have to be stupid to refuse. Okay, so here's the offer. We just told you about your problems. We're telling you we're equipped to solve them with your advisors. And here's the best part. There's no legal commitment and there's no monetary commitment to have us show you here's your world and what you're doing now and here's what it could be.
That's
and
crazy.
keeping 30, 40, 50% of your money.
Yeah, so at this point, how do people reach out to you? Because if I was watching this, this is where I'm reaching out right now. Because I'm like, dude, I got everything to gain, nothing to lose. How do I get a hold of you? So if they call you,
call us, email us, follow us on social.
Direct cell phones, direct emails, and I would say
can we
DM.
put your number up here right now when we're done?
Yeah,
Sure.
100%.
Cool. Okay, so we'll get those when we're done. We'll put those on
Put
the
'em right up.
screen so they can call you.
No problem.
And then they can email you. We'll
Yep.
put those up there. And then also, how do they follow you on social media? How they hit you up? If they
At Too Cool Deep.
At
Put it right up
2QD.
there.
Yeah, we'll put that on. And what about you?
At Mr._Gaglio.
Cool. I love it. We'll make sure we throw those up there, Sean. Let's put the numbers and everything. And we'll put them up a couple times. So that's great. So number one, that's super important. All right. So let's keep rolling.
Yeah, so that's a perfect segue into, I think, like, we should talk about where Don't Tax Me Bro began.
Yeah.
And honestly, Andy, we have you and Jackie to thank for this. Like, no shit, we have you and Jackie to thank for this. So we solve big tax problems. We were, speaking to the Elliott Group, speaking to Mike, speaking to you and Jackie before the event back in July, PBD. Awesome event, life-changing event.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd say about 2 months out, just planning the booth and like what we want to kind of roll under. We operate 2 advanced planning firms. Yes, they're kind of like sister firms, but at the end of the day, they're different strategies. We collaborate a lot, but they are 2 different. I'm the face at the point of one, and he's the face at the point of the other. So we needed to create like an umbrella that covered overall taxation and big problems.
Yeah.
And we came up with the phrase, "Don't tax me, bro." Like it's plain,
I love
50,000 foot view, just plain and simple, like all levels of taxation. Don't tax me, bro. Now there are ones we're equipped to solve, which are the 2 biggest, when that would be income exposure and overall net worth and estate exposure. We could solve cap gains, but it doesn't always move the needle. And then like your other elementary levels, like think sales or payroll, like, sorry, you just got to pay that
Pay it, yeah.
They're
small numbers.
You have to pay it. It actually has attributes to some of the strategies that we deploy.
Yeah.
So we rolled in under "Don't Tax Me, Bro" to that event, and then that's what really struck, and kicked this relationship off on the right footing.
Yeah.
That has turned Andy into a separate kind of media marketing production firm that Joel Deep and I own now. That we've been stockpiling content for a while and kind of just getting ready. So we have you to thank for that. That we came up with it for your event.
Hashtag 2, don't
Yep.
tax me, bro.
Yeah, we came up for it with it for the event, tied to you being so kind to ask us out here.
Yeah.
Obviously joined the brotherhood, like full on board, full send.
Well, dude, people don't know this stuff, man. It's crazy that people know how to make money, but they don't know a lot of things about money.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, money education, there's only one way to get rich and wealthy is with money education. And to be honest with you, a lot of people, like, I'm being completely, like, vulnerable here. Like, we know how to make money. We don't understand a lot about money. It's very rare that people really understand money.
See, and that's one of the things. We don't teach people how to make money. We can't. It's not my skill set. But if we can help you hold on to more of that money, whether it's
wants to hold
today
on
or
to that damn
generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
Think about the legacy you're building. Think about your kids. They're here. They're always here.
Yeah.
How much of what you've built do you want them to get?
Every much.
There you go. Uncle Sam wants half.
Yeah.
So how do you fix that? How do you get around that? What are the ways, what are the strategies you can deploy?
Yeah.
Most people just do nothing. When the time comes, their business has to get liquidated, their real estate portfolio has to get liquidated, everything, half your money's gone. If you didn't do any planning, you're worth $100 million when you die. You've got 40, 50 million in taxes that are due, and I'm just making round numbers here. Don't take any of this to the
No,
bank.
heartbreaking.
But if you owe 40 million in taxes, you got 100 million in real estate. How do you come up with that? You're dead. You're gone. There's nobody here that knows how to run the business anymore at your level.
Yeah, if
Your
you were,
family's screwed.
if
They
you were
gotta
the
sell
real
60,
estate
70
genius,
million.
like, yeah, you're offloading that at a fire sale.
There you go. That's how somebody else gets rich. That's how their family gets to create more wealth.
Correct.
So that's a bad idea. Don't do that. That's the number one thing I try to tell people. And we don't have any clients that say, I'm okay, let my kids deal with it. That's not a good client for us. There's a core value missing here that's just never going to apply. Now, there's another easy way. You could take all your money and just give it to charity. I love charitable endeavors. I like giving to things that matter to me. I like for my clients to do that. I've never met anybody that wanted to give all of their money away.
No ways.
I care about my family. I'd like to leave legacy in more than just my family, build
Some people
foundations.
you want to take care of.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's bigger than that. That's not going to be able to solve all my issues because I'm not doing that. Takes you down the next two pieces. There's the entire legal world of building trust and taking all your money and putting it in there and losing access, control. There's clever ways of doing it. You could retain some, but if you're worth 20, 30 million today, how much of your money do you want to give away? Legally, you can only give away about 28 million. That'll be next year's number. That's all you can do. If you're worth 30 or 40 or 50, what about the rest? You could put some good tricks in there. You could apply some strategies. You can't solve the whole problem. Especially if you're your age or our age, you're going to keep making money. The problem's going to continue again and again. So it's a combination of stuff like that. It's a base core, use the charitable, use the trust planning, build those great strategies. And then what do you layer on top? And typically it's insurance. So our world is helping you balance that, right? Think about how insurance is sold. It's a scummy, crappy thing. Nobody likes it. It's a tool though. If you understand what this thing is good at, insurance is a great tool. It's a triple tax-free tool. No income tax, no cap gains, no estate taxes.
It's pretty much a leverage pump.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's just always misused and treated as a bill or like a necessary evil.
And if we do the right planning, the trust planning, the charitable planning, we can reduce the amount you need. We can make this efficient to the part where it doesn't even cost you much. You're able to use assets to purchase instead of cash flow. And a business owner wants to keep his cash flow. That's what matters most.
Yep.
So if we're reducing your income tax bill and helping you hold on to more cash flow while fixing your estate issues, you've got something.
That's amazing.
That's when it starts to come together.
Yep. Yeah. So
It's
just
so
kind
crazy,
of.
man. Money education, I've heard it a lot, but most wealthy people will tell you the reason why they're really wealthy is because of money. They understand money.
Yes.
And the people that have made a lot of money, and by the way, you don't even have to make a lot of money to be able to keep a lot of money.
Correct.
Yes.
You just got to understand money.
Yes.
Correct.
And
See, most people struggle with building the vision of what am I going to be doing in 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I don't know. I'll have so many opportunities, it's going to change. But what's my money going to be doing? It's only going to grow, right?
Yep.
I'm going to grow this thing, and if I don't start today with the planning, I'll never get going. So our entire, our ethos is the idea that you have to educate clients on what they need to understand about money. If we can provide them the education, they can make smart, intelligent decisions. Now, most attorneys aren't going to take the time to do that, or they're going to bill you by the hour. Clients are not going to pay that. They don't want to sit there and spend 40 hours with an attorney getting lectured, or a CPA. In fact, most of the time, our clients come back and say, "I don't even know what that guy said." I think the thing we pride ourselves in is we can translate attorneys and CPAs to clients and turn it into simple English.
Yeah, and
That's what's
actuaries.
missing in this country. And actuaries,
so
yes.
you can understand it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dumb it down, make it
thought-
simple that anybody understands what you're talking about.
I thought we were saving ethos for tomorrow.
Okay,
That
we
was
could do it
just
again.
Little spotlight there for Keaton.
Yeah, that was a big
took down
takeaway there,
the
too.
TV. That day,
That was a magical day,
every
man.
speaker
That was.
did
I have
was
notes
amazing.
that I haven't taken to that level in years at things, man.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We actually play in the auto space quite often.
Quite well. It's a fun space.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
both of our worlds is very applicable, and they again don't know.
That's
what
how
they
we heard
don't
of
know.
you.
So yeah,
We've got car dealer clients that are amazing clients.
Yes.
and
They don't know
pay
any
a
of this
ton
stuff.
in taxes.
They pay a ton.
So here's another thing, just to kind of go, we'll step back in time a little bit, talking about like when you got a guy or got a gal. Like if there's a very respectful relationship, this could be a money manager, this could be an attorney, or definitely the accountant because it's very closely held.
Yeah.
We'll come in and say like, has anyone ever offered collaborating with them? Like, let us bring you a 2.0, not fire them, work with them. Bring the skill sets that they don't have, and now you have a team.
Yes.
And the team is likely going to bring us in for specific bigger problems. So it doesn't necessarily mean like you got to kill off, your cousin or best friend that happened to be there for the growth and scale of your business for 20, 30 years. Maybe it just needs another seat at the table and a broader table of
You
advisors.
just got to get a bigger table.
Yeah. I want to say this. This is a good way. I always look at, like, when I have a problem, what would I do if I knew no one's feelings would get hurt? Right? Like you know.
Be direct.
Yes. Well, no,
He's
like,
very
but
direct.
what would you do? Because right now, a lot of people are watching this and they have a relationship, but thinking about approaching that relationship by, like, saying, "Hey, I want to make sure that there couldn't be something, that I'm missing here."
Yeah.
If you knew no one's feelings would get hurt, everybody would do it right now, because
Yes.
I would want you guys to look at my stuff to make sure that I'm saving. But then we think about having that conversation with that person, like,
See-
well, I don't want to rub them wrong, and it ends up costing you millions.
See, I think when you're making $5 million and we're talking about another million of income tax savings, you've been with this guy, you're just getting to that level of wealth. It is very personal. But if you're worth 50, 100, 200, $500 million and your guy didn't take care of the problem, it's a little bit of a different conversation. Would you like
All
me
of
to
it bothers
interview?
me.
Would you like me to interview your guy to see if he's qualified to do this?
Yes.
Yep.
He might be a great attorney, great trusted attorney for foundational stuff. He did what was right for you, but you might have outgrown that conversation. He might need somebody to collaborate with him. We can show him what needs to happen and bring in somebody to partner with him. We don't need to get rid of your relationships. I'm sure they're there for a reason.
Yep.
But if you're not married to the guy, or you're open to somebody taking a look, let's make sure they're capable of handling this.
Yeah. So let's just, I don't want to say dive deeper, because not deeper, but I do want to, like, unpack just the two worlds. So Kuldeep and his firm, M Plus, are beyond well equipped to solve large net worth and estate issues. And that's, let's be very clear, that's both these areas where Uncle Sam makes money. That's the ultimate death punch, right? That's taken half, maybe more than half,
Yeah.
depending on where you are in this country, of your overall net worth, and maybe in a fire sale, like he was saying, upon second death. That one sucks, but income sucks now,
Yeah.
right? So his world is often owner, operator, self-employed, and for anyone listening, does not have to be. So maybe you're that big W-2 exec, or you're that C-suite exec that has an enormous bonus and $1 million base. He can help with that,
Yep.
right? I can't.
Yeah.
I might be able to work through you to get to the ownership, to, like, design from top down, but I need someone that's making a decision as self-employed. So that could be 1099. That's why it's so collaborative with the Elliott Group, is
Yeah.
because, yes, it's giving back and it's teaching these concepts, but there's many sitting in the room, 1099,
Almost
salesmen
everybody's
and women
1099
that are
right
out
now,
there
yeah.
that are experiencing uncomfortable taxes. So it's, like, very diverse. But in my world, I need self-employment, or I need someone to be an owner operator. I don't judge a business by its overall nature. That doesn't matter. Or its corporate structure. That doesn't matter. I need net profit. Obviously, if you're not paying taxes, you're not making money. Like, you got to make money in both of our spaces. And then I won't get into it now, but there are demographics that apply. There is a thing called, like, too big. So think like 1 to 500. But if you're a group of execs, or spouses, or partners, or surgeons, traders, executives, it doesn't matter what industry, in that realm, and you're experiencing very uncomfortable taxation, my world can drive 6, 7, and 8-figure deductions, black and white,
Wow.
centered around those groups, and nobody's telling the story.
It's hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars of income tax savings.
Here's the big aha moment. So we travel, as you know, the country, speaking to a lot of advisors,
Yeah.
a lot of firms, a lot of other masterminds and symposiums, financial symposiums, and most of it is, ironically, this is kind of hats off to you and Jackie. We dubbed it the Don't Tax Me Bro Roadshow this year. We take it
great.
across the nation, based off of coming out here over the summer. So
That's where it started.
It's gonna be a huge brand.
and it is on one concept. If you have control of income, you're self-employed, you're that owner operator, what is appealing to you is bleed rate now.
Yep.
It's lessening your Fed, state, and city, wherever applicable nationwide, now. So often he knows, like, oh, net worth's an issue. No one wants to talk about death. No one wants to talk about 30, 40 years from now. They do want to talk about, hey, could you use a 7 or 8-figure deduction now? So he'll fly through under my firm, and then we hook his. If they are front-facing on, like, I know I have a net worth issue. I'm worth, a few $100 million, or I'm worth, over $500 million or over $1 billion. We'll fly through him, and then as we're going through financials and returns, we're going to find where all the exposed income is. So it'll be like, hey, we bulletproofed you, right? We kept it all in the family. We did some great advanced planning on the net worth side, but I kind of noticed, like, you're paying 10, 20 million in income taxes. You want to just, like, clip some of that off? So we that's why we piggyback so well together.
That's huge.
So to anyone in the audience, yeah, if it's a net worth issue, it might mean flying, under don't tax me, bro, but under Cold Deep's talk. If it's
That's
a
nice.
income issue,
Yeah.
it might. If it, sometimes it's both right out the gate. You
Yep.
know, we call it like 1-2 punch. There's a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is, and I hate to tell you, like all these forms of taxation, they're not going lower anytime soon.
No.
Yeah, the politics and all, people are like, oh, one of the most common things I'll hear is, why don't we wait until after election? Or we'll see, maybe Trump
Doesn't
will win, he'll
matter.
do this or that. It doesn't matter. Are you
Doesn't
going to
matter.
die in the next 4 years? No? Then on my side of the world, you can't predict who's going to be in power when you die. Especially at the ages that we're talking about. If you're 85 years old, maybe there's a chance, right?
Yep.
But maybe you have to take immediate
Yeah, if
action.
you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, or 30s.
There's
like
enough
this
runway. The
point.
law's going to change 42 times. Just be conservative and get it right now, so we don't have to keep fixing it over and over. And at the same time, if we can stop that bleed rate today, stack a few strategies. Talk about some of the strategies.
On the income front.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot that are known. So, like the big ones, like you got cost seg in the real estate space. You got think equipment depreciation. You see that in medical.
And
You see
cost
that in
segregation is huge.
It
a
is
lot
huge.
of people.
Yeah, but that's where you get audited and burned if you do it wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people either get in trouble or don't ever do it, and
Yep.
it's a huge piece.
Exactly.
huge.
Because they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
We can stack that strategy too.
Right? You got
huge.
depreciation. I'm talking like black and white areas that are typically pursued
Yeah.
for income reduction. So cost seg, various forms of depreciation, typically equipment.
All over, yeah.
For businesses. Oil and gas. That's
Yeah.
been black and white for many decades now. Here's one that is never turned over. Okay, because it's boring retirement planning. Okay, let me I'll role play with you for a little. You may have, or you probably know what a 401k is. You may have one. I don't know.
I don't have one.
Right? Don't have one. Why? Doesn't interest you.
Yeah, my
Right?
wife says we don't need one.
You don't,
'cause they're
doesn't move the needle.
Yeah.
If you did have one, I'd be willing to bet that it's probably for like retention, golden
I
handcuffs.
had one when I was young. and I
right?
didn't.
But you would put in place maybe for employees.
Yes.
Right? Of like,
It's like
hey,
a benefit
it's
for
a
that.
benefit.
Makes them feel
when I
good.
was younger and I just started working.
Yeah.
That's what
They're
they
like,
offered
oh,
it
you
to
need a
you for.
401k.
It was like something
Yeah.
to keep you enticed. We'll give you a few dollars in it
So
if you throw some
here's
money
the
in
problem
it.
with that
And you
industry.
matched it or something.
Yeah, that match.
It's
That's a
none of
free
that,
money.
They're all like those are cosmetic.
But it's not interesting, right?
components
That's the
to this.
point. It's not interesting to somebody at your level.
Correct. Now, what if I were to tell you like that shouldn't interest you? Because like, let's be real. Mentally, that's in your mind's eye in a bucket with other costs for your business, and this goes to any self-employed individual or owner-operator that's listening. Right? Mentally, you're putting that as an employee benefit in a box in your mind's eye with workman's comp, medical benefits, other necessary evils. I need it for my staff, hiring, retention, competition against peers in my industry, and it should be all that. Okay, but doesn't interest anyone that has real taxation or is making money at the top of that organization. Well, what about if it wasn't a boring 401k deferral? What about if you could put 6, 7, multi-7, 8 figures in a 401k deductible up front for just you, your family
100,
members,
200,
your
500,
partners,
a million,
your
$2
spouses,
million into
any-
your own private pension plan.
So
huge.
That's
super. Now it would
difference.
move the needle because you understand that, like, hey, putting 20, 30K ish.
It's
I'm
not
not going to get into numbers right now, but not interesting. Hold on, I could put 2, 3, 5, 7 million, maybe more, depending on how I build this. That's called advanced qualified plan design. A 401k is just a piece of that world, and it's just a vacuum of lack of education because it's all just generic garbage that's spewed
Yep.
out there. It's a lot of like prototypical stuff you see from like payroll carriers, etc.
It's not customized for the actual end product client that has the problem. Most places are not equipped to do that, so they offer you an off-the-shelf thing. It's not interesting. It doesn't solve your problem, and that's why you don't have one.
Yeah.
And nobody knows how to talk about it because it's complicated, and it takes a lot of work, and it takes time.
It's crazy.
That's what he's an expert of. That first lunch we talked about in the beginning,
Yeah.
he explained this to me, and I was like, I hate my plan. It's garbage. It's just I just have to put money in for my employees. It's a waste of my time. He said, what if it wasn't? What if we could put in $500,000, $1 million, $2 million? I think we were like 17 days from the tax deadline, and I was like, I want to do that. Next day, that's why I called him. I was like, okay, how are we doing that? And he'd guessed the amount I could do based on my demographic at a lunch, 4 or 5 hours in, a couple drinks in, guessed it within $16,000 in his head. Wow. I'm not good at numbers in my head. I need spreadsheets. I need the whole thing.
Oh,
It's
that
like an
brilliant.
IRS tax savant over here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure his dad recited tax code to him as a kid.
Yeah.
But, some people read nighttime stories. His dad read the tax code. But he nailed it.
crazy.
And then he showed it to me a day later. And I said, cool, I want to do that. And we're talking 15 days now before the tax deadline, and he got it done. Got it done in 15 days. Things that my CPA is amazing. She's a tax attorney. She's a trust and state attorney. has an LLM. She's also got a CPA. She's the most educated person in America. He hired her after the fact because I had to let mine go because he didn't understand what he was talking about.
It's actually exactly what you brought up.
His partner had to tell him where on the tax returns to put this stuff. He was like, you probably need to change because this man doesn't get it.
Yeah, and
We
you should have
can't.
been
We
doing this
tried
for
to
a while
educate him.
already.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like let's break the traditional norms, right? Like so when I deliver that to advisors, what I call it is like, okay, this is what's known. Let's just add a 0 or 2 or 3. When's it get creative, right? Andy, what's your number? Right? Does a million not move the needle? Cool. Would 5 million?
Yeah.
Would 8 figures? Right? Would 10, 15 million? Would that
Yeah.
move the needle? Would that type of tax savings at 40, 50, 60, depending on where you are, type
Huge.
bracket, move the needle?
It's
See,
money
to that
today.
owner operator,
Hell yeah.
they know what keeping another 3, 5, 7, 8 million in their pocket
Wow.
means. 401k doesn't do that. So, yeah, and to your point, like that's stacked with those other worlds. So maybe you clip a few million off of that, then you do cross seg. Then you do some oil and gas. Then you do some equipment depreciation. And before you know it, you might be netting, 10, 15 million for your company annually, maybe more. But you can erode 6, 7, 8 figure exposure. Black and white ways, they're just not talked about.
See, I think of this as like an entryway to education around money.
Correct.
You start to save more money, you start to get more interested, right? We talked about point stacking. We've talked
Yeah.
about estate taxes, cap gains. You start to realize there are techniques out there. And this, to me, it's like the door opener, the gateway drug to wanting to know more. Once you realize you can do this, your life's going to change.
You know why? It's mental.
Yes.
It's all psychological. Right?
Yeah.
The add a 0 thing, or talking about leverage with net worth. What is it? Like business owners get leverage. They get deductions. They understand what
Yep.
that means to them.
This isn't
But
foreign.
what are you appealing to? You're not talking about where the monies go. You're not talking about some type of investment. You're talking about, hey, I identified your big problem.
Yep. The pain you have
Good
today.
news is it can be solved. It just can't be solved with your generic approaches that you're taking.
It's huge.
So,
You need a brain surgeon. You need a cardiac
and
surgeon.
I don't like. I can, similar with brain to heart, right? I would say that brain probably knows when to identify. Hey, this is no longer brain. This is maybe a heart issue.
Yep.
But they're never going to step into. Hey, let me just try heart surgery.
Let me try that today.
And he's
No,
never going to do it.
no.
I know when it's like
You know what
this
it is.
is an
Yep.
M plus issue, or this is a Shepherd issue. Those are our two respective firms. So like, I know when it is, and we're just going to pass the baton. That's the whole concept behind our roadshow is the baton pass between the worlds. So
And you guys are doing that whole deal together.
Yeah.
yeah, we're going
all
on
over the country.
Year 3. Next year's year 3. Yeah.
I think we're
So
booked out
that's
about
great.
20 something already for next year, and we've still got a few months till next year. It's exciting. It's fun. You get to show people
Huge.
things they didn't know existed.
I want to add one other thing going back to this, right? We don't all stand for the same thing, right? But we do, like you said, morals, overall mantra, if you will. Our cultures are similar. We stand for different things, but it's really cool seeing it on the roadshow, and I know a lot of our team members feel the same way, that like we're delivering impact in 2 different ways. And that's because we have 2 different clients. So we talk to a lot of advisors. We view that very much as a relationship, probably no different than the friendships you've built
Yeah.
in the Elliott Group,
Yeah.
right? And then there's the people they're impacting. So for us, it's like first relationship, first client is that,
Yeah.
hey, we want you to have a great experience. We want you to step out of your comfort zone. We want you to stand for something with us. And by the way, know that we have your back with these
Yeah.
strategies because you're not meant to learn this overnight. This stuff is not learned overnight or in a few years. And then they go do that, and you watch their lives change. And then what do? Ripple effect. They impact and change hundreds of lives of their clients. So it's been pretty refreshing this year because I'd say every roadshow event, if not every other, most are physical because we want to draw a crowd and we get engaged. We took the hype up from you guys.
Yeah.
So
We're bringing a hype man next year. We're taking the twins from you. We're going to borrow them for a couple
we would
seconds.
love you to do an
Yeah.
opener. That'd be great.
No,
I've been training Mike on how to do it too.
Yeah.
So
Having someone all jacked up.
Yeah.
So we get that energy going, and it's been pretty refreshing because a lot have come up and they're like, listen, like you branching out and talking about something that had nothing to do with any type of financial or tax talk, like empowered me, and I don't have to master this. I now know when to bring you guys in because we spell it out really.
What's your Ed My Light quote?
Which one? I don't know.
The one you always put on the
Yeah.
show.
You
are most.
most qualified to help the person that you once used to be. And we both have similar backgrounds and stories, not to the exact same, but we didn't just wake up and be, just we're here one day.
Yeah.
So we try to deliver that in a very much an emboldening, empowering way to other advisors and people in this industry, because we were in their shoes.
Yeah.
And everyone starts, so you don't just wake up and you're like, I'm netting 8 figures. No. 5 and 6 and 7 and multi-7.
the hustle,
and
the
boom, I'm
grind.
making 10 million.
Well, that's what I love about you guys is you're applicant teachers.
Yeah.
Like, not theory. Like, in theory, people that have businesses like this, you could save them X amount of money, but you guys are theory. You guys have businesses. You guys have everything, and you do this. Like,
I'll show you mine is usually the first thing we talk about. Let me show
Yeah,
you
I
how I
was
do
gonna
it.
say,
Let me show you all of mine.
Yep.
That's how this got started. I wanted to save on. He wanted to learn what I'd been doing the year before. I figured out. I Googled him. I figured out what he does, and I said, "This guy could save me money. That sounds pretty good too. I'll take that lunch. Let's do this." And he taught it to me. He showed me what it was. He showed me his, and I was like, "I've never seen this." And I've been in the business a while. Like, I know people that do great stuff. I've never seen this.
Yeah.
You got to realize you can't be an expert at everything. You got to go find those great people and lean on them and let them teach you stuff.
Yeah.
And then partnership and collaboration, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're referred in more. Does anybody refer you in more than a CPA? Like, CPAs are the referral sources for him.
Yeah.
Clients and CPAs. It's, look at what this guy did for me. He could probably do that for you.
Well, so I think everything that you guys do, saving money on taxes, teaching people, educating them. Obviously, you guys are, influence, for educating people. I mean, even like me, my wife. I mean, when we built our business, nobody teaches you any of this.
No.
And so along the way, you hire someone, and really the big money comes in whenever you have somebody like this in your corner, who can help you start really keeping your money. So anybody watching this, if you're a business owner, a high-level C-suite W-2 guy, kicking ass, but most of the time, companies, business owners, stuff like that, right? You're doing good. You got good income coming in. You want to keep more money. They can call you guys on the screen, email you.
Yep.
I haven't used an email in forever, but I know you guys are emailers because lawyers are email. Like, we love emails.
We're in stages. We have, certain hurdles we have to do. But
but I was saying that you guys
email us. It's perfect.
email, phone call.
Tell us about yourself. Tell us the problem. Let's go figure out how to solve it, right? It's a 30-minute, 45-minute, an hour-long conversation, and we can figure out if we can help you, and we'll tell you.
Yeah, I would say
here's how we could do it.
Good. We say this all the time. Like, there's good news, bad news, right? Here's the bad news. We're not solving this right now. You don't learn this overnight.
Yeah.
Okay, but good news is we can dive deep enough that you have like a generic understanding of how these problems can be solved in a 30 to 40-minute call or Zoom.
Yeah.
And there's no
Education.
commitment, there's no cost. It's just building a friendship. 95% of the time, friendship first.
There's the
but
no
then
asshole,
develops
right?
into-
So
Yeah,
real quick,
great
there's a
point.
no asshole. That
Great
first
point.
30 minutes, we're trying to make sure we actually like you, because you could have
I was
asked.
about to say,
I
you
like
guys are
making money, but
you guys are big on liking people,
Yeah.
which I think I didn't share that early on. Guys, we do business together, but we're all like brothers, and I just want you to know, like, if you've watched any of my content, you see that I like people with no ego.
Yeah.
I like people with no entitlement, no pride, who are, I like being tough to persuade, but open-minded enough to understand that someone knows something that I don't know.
Amen.
Like good leaders are they're pretty strong in their ways, but they're
direct.
open-minded.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Absolutely.
well put. Yeah.
And when it comes to how hard we all work, and I know every business owner here that's watching this, how hard we all work. And then at the end of it, at the end of each year with all that hard work, when you start seeing all those tax things come down, I mean, name one person that doesn't go, "Are you sure there's not a better way?"
Yeah.
Are you
Everyone,
sure?
same time of year too.
Right, but everybody says that. Like, are you sure there isn't something better?
My father used to say, like, you work the first half of the year for Uncle Sam and the back half for yourself. Right?
Yes.
And here's the thing: there are better ways. There are a multitude of ways, not just our worlds.
Yes.
And if we don't do them, we're equipped to open the right doorway to parties that have been vetted. So I do want to go back to the no asshole policy. I think it's worthy of mentioning, because there's a reason why stand for something's on our shirts, right? So, like, we don't stand for the same things. Full transparency. We stand for a lot of the same. Our teams don't. We try to empower advisors and end user clients. But we will not work with you. And I want to be very clear, Andy, that's very much a blessing, considering our family histories and all that we've gone through. And like you said, as you guys built what is the Elliott Group now? Like, you fell on your face a lot. You learned the hard way.
Yeah.
And we don't want others to go through that. So because of us doing that and recognizing out the gate, like, I can jive with this guy. Like, yeah, he's part of the same culture. Like, he's willing to stand for something. We don't, right? We stand for a lot of the same, but I know 100% every day of the year he's got my back and I got his back.
Yeah.
Amen.
I'll stand behind him any day of the week.
Yeah.
And that's because of a bigger mantra. But if you don't fit that, we're very much blessed to say, like, yo, there's the door. I'm sorry, you're not for us.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you make.
Yeah.
I don't care how big your tax problems are.
Yeah.
We're just not a fit.
Yeah.
No, doing a lot of the right stuff will make you money. Being around the right people that expand your mind, that can help you, that are, think about our biggest clients. Think about people like you, right?
Yeah.
You're great at something that's not what we do, and we're not great at what you do. And I can learn from you, and it's every one of my clients is successful.
Everybody's
I can
that
learn.
next buddy away.
You got to be around those, the givers, the one that wants to help you as well.
Yeah.
They're good people. That's
Yeah.
what matters, right?
Yeah.
Stand for something. Have some values. Have some beliefs. I don't care what your beliefs are, as long as they're about making the world better.
Yeah.
Making yourself better.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
it.
matters.
Yeah. And then making money
Yes.
and saving money with people that you like.
Yes.
Priceless.
Yep. And
You
I
know?
would say it comes as a byproduct of standing out, outside of the norms.
Yeah,
And,
being different.
we're big on this part of my story, which I'm sure you'll hear, in a more personal manner later. But it's this concept of, like, just go out and get uncomfortable
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And
That's the life we
you'll be
live.
surprised, like, you push that limit every day and you push it in every way possible. And I don't mean just business.
Yeah.
Your life's going to change.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna
where
get
you're going to
good.
go and the trajectory is it's going to change, and maybe overnight. And like you said, you're one away, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all fans.
Bloodline breaker.
We're all fans of Ed here, right? Power
Yeah.
one more,
Yeah.
just one more. Like, I'm sure you're well aware,
Yeah.
obviously, his story, like, super powerful. So, but that's not for everybody. And
But
try
we're
to-
looking for the people that are
Yes.
us.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, guys. So if you're watching this right now, super important. Number one, you may think of somebody. You're like, dude, I need to send this to a buddy of mine. Like, I need to get this over to my buddy. And you got someone that you're thinking about right now. Maybe somebody that has a big business. They're kicking ass. They're doing something, and you're like, my buddy needs to know you guys. Okay, so make sure you pass this over, because I've had friends send me a video before that they didn't need, but I needed. I was going through something, and it really helped me. Okay, so do me a favor, be our brother and share that over. And then if that's you and you're watching this, I'll say this last thing. At the end of each year, every person is always like, man, are you sure there's not something better?
Yep.
And at the end of the day, there usually is. It's just you're one handshake away, you're one connection away from figuring that out. Make sure you guys reach out to them by calling them. We'll put their number right here one more time. You can hit them up on Instagram, or you can just shoot them an email. And they're awesome. You're going to see them with me a lot. Tomorrow we got a big event. They're going to be sharing with our entire audience on how they can all save money and different strategies. So now that my buddies, my friends, my brothers, they're an awesome resource to me, and they're a big part of my life and impact. Now they're a part for you. So reach out to them. I just want to say I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you.
You guys are badasses.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. Thank
And
you.
you'll
Thank
see
you.
you'll see a lot of them. But reach out to them. Have a blessed day, guys. Kick ass. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, looks like you made it to the end of the video. You're the true 0.0001%ers. Look, I know 1%ers that can make it halfway through the video, but making it all the way through, you guys are the best. Now, here's what I'd like to do. Number one, I want to get closer to you. The fact that you made it all the way through the video, you're like, man, dude, I want to roll with this guy. Okay, so I need to connect with you. Down below, there's a description box on this YouTube video. There's a link. It says Coach with Me one-on-one, okay? If you'll go and you'll enter your information, I'll reach out to you in the next 24 hours. You can tell me what you need help with, what your goals are, and we will crush it together. I would love to help you guys go to the next level in life. You can tell I'm changing my life really fast, and I know that you guys want the same thing. I'd love to go with you on that journey. So right now, if you'd like to partner with me, team with me, if you want me to help coach you and push you, everybody needs a coach, a higher level of accountability to go to the next level. Go to the description box below, click on the link, fill out your information. I'll talk to you in the next 24 hours. Let's kill it.